Welcome to the July full moon. It is July 4th here, so I'm going to keep this as quick as I can because I want to be out in the fun and the sun. And so this is going to be a really quick touch base just to let you know, for walking the red path, what your experience is here for this integration. Remember, I have my cards tracked out here. I also have the whole astrology deck laid out here. I don't review anything prior. I kind of just see things and go. And so forgive me for stumbling through this. But if you have not watched the July Pick Your Path video, and you don't know if you're walking the red or blue path this month, stop this video and go to find the July Pick Your Path video, because that's going to give you crucial information to know which video to watch. And here you're looking at the red video. So this is going to be for the people walking the red path this July 2020. And the red path, once again, just for a real short recap here, you're coming into this month because of some grief, some big heart-centered letting go, some death, loss, big letting go, heartbreak, separation, something in the sadness, depression, heightened emotions, whatever it was from June, right? Where June was the whole integration month, something big happened, and then the transition now of where you are is in this place of vulnerability. So yet again, you're being asked to find a new level within yourself, find this next level of vulnerability so that you can access new portals, new connections to your Akashic soul level wisdom here in July. And July, again, being the spiritual month, is all about living heaven on earth. And so this is a big understanding for you here in July, because your full moon energy, and again, the full moon comes in, and this is where the new beginning starts. This is where an activation of new energy takes place for you, and that's what we're gonna read in a minute. The activation of new energy is all about adaptability. And so you need to adapt here. And this is an adaptation from what was happening in June, where the as above, so below, that divine union came in and created this big transition moment, right? Whatever the grieving, the letting go, whatever that heartbreak, separation, whatever that big shift energy was that got you to pick the red path. And so now here in July, what you're doing at this full moon, which is so interesting because we've got another eclipse, we've got the full moon, which is all about really bringing awareness to some of those things that we're still transitioning through. And so here, as the activation of this new energy comes in, which is asking you to find another level of adaptability where the human you that feels, that's passionate, that wants to create, can then connect everything you've been feeling and cultivating within you as that good feeling energy, your passions, your creativity, what you've been putting a lot of your energy towards, that you now can take that out and present it to the world. And not that you haven't been doing this, but here in July, this is the moment where everything activates. And in August is where we start to actually see the physical manifestations of everything we've been creating from, not only this year, but leading up into this year, and probably a bit of your whole life kind of mixed into this pocket of what we're creating here in July, and going to then see the manifestation within August. So again, back to the red path, the big energy or the new activation for you is all about being adaptable. It's about your passion, your flow, in connection to the bigger picture and to how this is going to look come August. And so you're being asked to be adaptable. And so, at this new moon, we really get this next level of activation that is in reflection to the mastery that we've been aligning to. And our mastery is yet again to expose ourselves to a new level. So, like I said before, I feel like a lot of you who picked this path have probably come in with a really big agenda, a purpose. You really fully know kind of what you're here for, or at least have a great sense of what that might be. And so for you all, the interesting thing in picking the red path is you come in and you find out the mastery is yet again get vulnerable and like, oh my God, how can I surrender myself even more to this process? And yet here you are, and you're being asked once again to let go so that you can become that much more sensitive to these energies conspiring outside of you, to really bring forth this best, highest aligned energy. And so, and connection so that everything can manifest for you come August. And so where are you being asked to be adaptable? Now, this is where we're going to read in to each of your signs. So there'll be a note card here with astrology signs. Go ahead and fast forward right to your sign. Really, the full moon is triggering specific things within each of us, and that which is being triggered right now by the full moon, what we're being asked to bring more illumination to, is where you need to focus, because this, in contrast to you being adaptable, this could be the hurdle that you don't cross, that kind of sweeps you up in the energy and doesn't allow you to then receive and be that vulnerability, or achieve that next level of vulnerability, or even be adaptable in this process so that you can align to that next letting go, or that next kind of exposed state, so that you're ready and primed for what's coming. So here we're going to go right into the zodiac signs. So we're going to start with Capricorn, and Capricorn, for you, this July 4th, 5th transition for the full moon energy, what's coming up for you is it's a disassociation. And so this is a hyper spin of the crown chakra, which means you're having a really hard time trusting yourself. You're having a really hard time right now being vulnerable. You're projecting into what it is that you've been feeling, sensing, the purpose, your divinity, why you're here, all of those big life questions. You've been projecting yourself out into that instead of being really pliable, really vulnerable, really exposed in the moment. And again, you and your adaptability comes in around, it's for you, it's achieving an ultimate state of, what if I don't know? You know, that's maybe the mantra I'd have for you for this month, and this, not this month, but this beginning of the month, when this activation of new energy comes in, and say, okay, I feel like I know where I'm going. I feel like I know into the bigger purpose of what I'm building, what's coming. I feel like I'm on the right path. I feel like I kind of have that anchor point that I'm heading towards. But now what you need to do is let go of that and say, okay, so this is what I think. But what does universe think of this, right? And maybe what you think is so small that you need to expand even more. And so your mantra is, well, what if I only know 1% of what's coming? And let go and be okay in that unknown, because what it's saying is you're projecting yourself so far into what that picture of your destiny is that you are missing the ability to be pliable, to be vulnerable, to be exposed right now. And when you are in that most exposed level right now, that's when you're going to get these feelings of how you need to change to better serve the greater collective of what you're here to do and build and move forward with. And so you really need to achieve even more letting go than you have already. And so it sounds like you're kind of patterning from back in June, when you had that big moment of whatever the release or the letting go was for you. It sounds like you're in that same loop again, and you're being challenged. This full moon is really illuminating within you that you've let go only so much, and that you need to find another level of exposure, another level of, well, what happens if I don't know? And well, what happens if I just sit in the energy of what if? What if? What is this? What truly am I creating? And when you sit at that rock bottom level, that's when you start to see from a different perspective. And that's when all of these new feelings and adjustments, the adaptability comes in, where you can start to be pliable, where it's not so dead set on that one spiritual anchor that you have into your future that, you know, you're kind of like anchored to and is pulling you forward. You need to cut that cord, let go of that anchor, so that this can evolve for you. Okay, and thank you, Capricorn. So now we're going to go to Aquarius. So Aquarius energy, you're manifesting a lot of wisdom come this full moon, which is really great, because this is about your human being in alignment to the greater purpose of what's happening. And so I really like this for you, because it seems like the full moon and where you are right now is really in the flow. It's really, I feel like you've probably already started to surrender, started to let go, started to become more vulnerable and exposed to the potential, and it's for you, it's a lot of this feeling body. For you, it's a lot of sensory stuff right now. You might even be interpreting, look at me, I'm like, woo, you might even be interpreting your own emotions, your own sensations, your heightened states of an emotionality, you know, where, you know, you get into pleasure and then you kind of feel into resistance of pain, and, you know, these types of flows that get you really sensory overload. That's kind of what I'm feeling for you, is this like sensory overload. So I feel like this is coming in to signal you're in a heightened state of awareness and you're ready to expand. And so for you, what's happening at this full moon is a lot of wisdom. And this is soul level wisdom. This is connected to the purpose. This is connected to what we talked about July being, is this heaven on earth. This is a lot of that heaven energy, that Akashic level wisdom coming in. And for you, if you can really be in the flow of this and get tapped into those feeling states, you are going to understand really clearly what more of that purpose entails for yourself, and give you that encouragement, giving you that push, giving you that that boost to keep going, right? So if you haven't been kind of sensory overload or really in this ooey gooey feeling state, then I'd suggest for the full moon, maybe that's what you need to find as the awakening moment here, to be open to receive more of this wisdom, because it says it's already manifesting into your field, that this is already coming. The wisdom's there. You're going to get more information on what you're building, and that's the whole energy of July, is this these non-physical influences. I did a high self video, manifestation through the chakra system. That might be a helpful one to watch for you, because the manifestation flow is really about this non-physical energy and how it moves through you. And so this is for you, it's this download energy, it's the higher frequency energy, but you're able to kind of feel how it's pointing you and navigating you and aligning you to new outcomes here in this moment. And so that's for you, Aquarius. That's what's really transitioning for you this full moon. So now we're going to go to Pisces. And so Pisces, what's happening for you is you've been triggered by the sacral chakra. So it's really interesting. This could be something with relationships. This is a hyposacral chakra, which is lacking emotion. So it's the inability to feel. And I don't want to say inability like you don't have the ability to feel, which is literally the definition of inability. But it's not as it's as if you're trying not to feel, right? It's not like you're not feeling right now. It's like you're resisting the feeling. It's when it's feeling is too much, right? So far, a lot of these, I've only done 3 astrology signs, but they've been about the feelings. There's a lot of feeling connected. I wonder if Venus has come back online, because there's a lot of energy in this feeling body it feels like it's awakening for you. And so here there's a resistance to not feeling that. It's too much, too intense. And remember, where you are right now is in this cycle. You picked the red path because of the grief, the letting go, the separation, the death, all of those things that were happening from June to the beginning of July. And now here, what July is asking you to do is be really vulnerable so that that next level of purpose can come through, right? So the next reality for you can come in. And now, what's your new beginning here at the full moon and what's being illuminated for you? It's saying you are right where you need to be to feel this, to be in the flow of the intensity of the feeling body. When you allow those feelings to move through you, it's literally a washing machine that's moving through your core channel, purging out any of that residue of the old matrix, the old timelines, so that you can be 100% aligned, clear, crystalline DNA activated, so that you are ready to serve, because you feel so intensely. You now can serve the greater masses. You can serve and do what you're here supposed to be doing, right? Because this July is all about integrating that non-physical, spiritual, high self energy into this moment. And so that's what this full moon is all about. So feel, Pisces. And that's really you, right? I don't know much about astrology, but Pisces, you're all about the water signs and the emotions, right? And so it's all about being in that, being in the ebb and flow of this feeling body. And the adaptability comes in because the passion here is ready to serve the greater collective, but you really need to be in the flow of this. Allow yourself to get lost in the flow of this, as if you're just shoved into the washing machine of emotions and just on the constant spin cycle. That's what you need to be. Just do it until it's not there anymore, until the cycle ends. But you don't know if you put in for 10 minutes and you don't know if you've been put in for the heavy soil 2-hour load, right? And so just hunker down and be in it as long as it's here with you. Okay, so next we're going to go to Aries. Aries, you are in a manifestation flow. So Aries, you're all about acceptance right now. And this is accepting that the world outside of you is a creation of the world that you've been playing with non-physically inside of you. And so this is, interestingly enough, heaven on earth. I love this. This is Archangel Zadkiel coming in to say, yes, you ordered heaven on earth this month. This month, here it is. It's like on a silver platter. And so you are in this, but remember your full moon energy, the activation that's happening inside of your energetic field right now is all about adaptability. It's about being passionate when you're in these groups, in the world. It's about your passion being here in this world. And so if you have yet to, again, the world is the high, the passion is how you feel when you're connected to the high self energy, to basically being a human here on earth. So when you can align that passion in the world, it means that you are ready to then achieve this next level of vulnerability, access this next reality, this next pocket of experience that's here awaiting you starting this August. You're going to start to see it. But for you, this is manifesting. It's about being an acceptance to the fact that you are already living the heaven on earth. And so for you people who are here in Aries on the red path, I would really probably assess, if I'm reading this correctly, I would think that you're probably in resistance to the fact that you're living heaven on earth right now. And so where is the full moon illuminating where you're out of balance? It's the fact that you're not allowing your passion to come through fully in this earth space. This has all been so energetic and emotional so far. It's about the passion, the sexual energy. It's about cultivating that creative energy, the energy that inspires things within you. That feels like it's been a bit lost. And so that is where your full moon comes in to help you see that if you right now cannot agree that you are living the heaven on earth energy, then you have really pulled back that energy of your sacral chakra, which means the passion within you has dimmed, and you're, again, this internal inside energy that's now created outside of you, that this is the reflection of your heaven on earth. And so if you feel like it's not exciting enough, it's not creative enough, it's not, you know, enticing enough for you. This is your heaven on earth right now, and this is because this is what you've created it to be. And so, you know, this full moon is really illuminating for you, to find then that next level of vulnerability so that you can be exposed and allow this new alignment to come in, which will honor more of, I think, that passionate, creative, sacral chakra, sexual, stimulating energy to make you feel like you're alive and living within this world. Okay, so Taurus, we're going to move to Taurus next. And the Taurus energy here is a hyper third eye chakra. So this Taurus energy is saying you are so obsessed. You are so very mental right now. And this is keeping you out of the flow of the human range, which means everything July is asking you to do is birth heaven on earth, right? So you are staying in heaven and you're resisting earth is what it's saying. In that, you know, it's very cognitive for you right now, Taurus. It's very mental. It's very cerebral. You're doing things here and not allowing it to come down, manifest in that sacral energy, in that really playful feeling way. And so the adaptability for you is coming in the fact that you need to transition from thinking it to feeling it. And so where this full moon should be highlighting things is that maybe you're missing out on certain things. Maybe you feel like FOMO, fear of missing out, because you're so here that you're literally missing out on the action that's happening in the human range. And remember, July is all about heaven on earth. And so you're keeping it in the heaven, which means you're not being fulfilled in the earth space. So yeah, FOMO would be the big, like a real big fear of missing out. Like I feel like you just missed it, or you're not a part of it, or you're not, you know, as happy as that person is doing it, you know. It's because all of your energy is above the heart center right now. You're really too far into the future. You're projecting really, really far into your future to try and understand what's coming, to try and understand it. You're trying to visualize it, see it, make a blueprint for it, a plan for it. And that's not what this month is about. This month is about letting go of the need to know and being in what is. And when you can drop down into what is, that's where this new energy of the full moon comes in. That's where the activation of you starting to feel comes back online. And then when you start to feel, then you see the path that's guiding you and moving you forward. Then you feel the flow as it's moving through you and can stay in alignment to it for when it manifests for you this August. And so again, remember, it's all about getting and reaching those next levels of vulnerability. So for you, your vulnerability is about letting go of the construct, needing to know it, and then really just showing up to experience it and to play with it here in the earth physical reality, right? Okay, so the next we're going to get to is Gemini. So Gemini is about you're manifesting the ability to feel what others are feeling. And this is not just, it's the empathic quality, but it's also about you doing your own inner work and releasing kind of some of those ghosts of the past, those demons of the past. And I would even say this can even go right back to June and whatever the transition was of grief, loss, death, separation, heartbreak, heart pain, all of those loss energies, right? Whatever it was that got you to pick Red Path this month, you are now within the vulnerability of this month, right? That's what you're trying to master, is how can I be completely exposed every second of the day, and be able to know that who I am can handle whatever comes in. And so the new energy of this month, which is activating right now at the full moon, is adaptability. And your adaptability comes in with you. It's about your heart expressing through your voice. And this can either be in connection to other people, or this can be about really expressing your heart. Again, it's the heart. So I feel like this is the person who really was traumatized, triggered, something happened to you, heartbreak, separation, loss, death, whatever it might be, you know, that triggered you to pick grief from June and the red path in July, whatever that was that got you here, this is really about now. Your vulnerability comes because you're having to use your voice and really relive. I feel like your adaptability is, you're probably being confronted with that pattern again. Or if it was death, boom, the next wave of grief comes in. If it was separation, boom, the next wave of heartbreak comes in. If it was loss of job or identity or whatever, boom, the next wave of self-consciousness and limitation and belief structure comes in to challenge you. And so what you're being asked to do is really, for you, it's having the courage to speak what's happening to you per this pattern coming back up again, and the grief and that next wave of energy that's hitting you again. And through that, by doing that, it allows not only you to feel, but the people around you to feel what you're feeling, which creates a lot of this this movement in your physical reality to allow more of that heaven on earth to come in. So I think this, by you using the voice, you get more support, you get more connection, you understand more fully what you're moving towards, you understand more fully what you're creating. And so, you know, the tool for you this full moon is really to have confidence in speaking what your heart is feeling, okay? And that's going to help you ground a lot of this non-physical energy, a lot of the things that you've been, you know, I don't want to say activated by, but it's like a lot of the things you've been tormented by, really, is what it is. You know, I feel like you've gone through a real big emotional roller coaster. And so this is allowing some of that to come out. So you're not the closet that's keeping all those demons inside, the torment, the turmoil, you know, all these words really, I think, assess the situation that got you here. And I feel like there's another round 2 wave that's happening for you. Okay, so that was Gemini. Next, we're going to go to Cancer. So Cancer, you're pulling in guilt energy for this full moon. And guilt energy has to do with manipulation a lot of the times. It's either you manipulating yourself, God forbid, right? Having these belief structures set up within yourself where when you go outside of what you think is normal for you, you guilt yourself into making a decision that is outside of the normal. And I always use like the cookie example. If you think it's okay to eat 2 cookies, you know, at the end of the day, and you eat 2 cookies, but then you go back to the bag and you eat 2 more, that is a guilt trip. You're going to guilt trip yourself and shame yourself and say, you know, oh, now I feel so bad. I shouldn't have done that. And so because you made a decision in the moment, you have a tendency to guilt yourself into thinking that was the wrong decision to make in the moment. And so there's the self-guilt, or there's guilt coming in from other people. And so guilt from other people comes in when you've made a decision and somebody outside of you tells you that decision was the wrong decision. And so now here, the guilt trigger, what it does is it makes us question our decisions. It makes us question what we're doing in the moment. It makes us question our feelings. And this month for you is all about becoming vulnerable. It's about understanding why you're doing what you're doing, and if what you're choosing to do in the moment is aligned to the heaven, the highest potential for you, or if it's aligned to the low self, maybe the old patterns and the things you're trying to let go of, right? So what got you here from June? Why did you pick the red path? Why did you pick grief, that letting go, that separation, all of those things that the red path was ushering into this month? Because whatever that was, it's coming back up for you, and it's wherever you're feeling guilty right now, wherever somebody's making you feel guilty, or wherever you're feeling guilty about the decisions you've made, this is really the energy of the moment for you, is to recognize that the adaptability for you is about trusting these natural cycles and flows. knows that you've put yourself in a box, or somebody outside of you has put you into a box and telling you have to stay in that box. And so any decision you make for yourself outside of the normal or outside of that box is going to be shamed. It's going to be questioned. It's going to be, guilted into feeling bad about itself. And so when that happens, what this is indicating is you have limitations. There are some belief structures that you've established or somebody's imposed upon you that are no longer serving your highest, greatest good. And so, is it the decision to eat 2 more cookies? Is that what's taking you out of the flow? Have you wanted to establish a more structured routine to get you into feeling more like your authentic self, and eating the 2 extra cookies takes you out of that? Or have you regimented yourself so strongly that you no longer allow your feelings, your natural feeling states? You no longer allow yourself to be adaptable to what's happening in the moment, to make decisions of the moment and go outside of your own box. And so whatever it is for you, if it's self-imposed or externally imposed, if it's that you're making the right decisions or making the wrong decisions, whatever it is, this is the moment for you to learn adaptability, to learn how to get back into the natural flow of your own of your own life. Really, it's what I see for you. Who are you? Cancer? What I see for you, Cancer, is you're literally living within a box. You're living within a cage of your own making, or somebody's imposed caged on you, right? And so it's time to break the cage. And how do you do that? You have to trust your own cycles and natural flows. And that is learning how to be adaptable in the moment to make choices that serve your highest, greatest good, so that you can be living that heaven on earth experience here this July, which then will lead you to the new manifestation cycle that you've intended for yourself come August. So that is Cancer. Next, we're going to move to Leo. Oh, well, Leo, look at this. And I apologize to Leos. I always read Leos faster because I'm a Leo. So I tend to not give it as much attention as the other ones. So Leo energy, I'm going to try and slow down this time. Leo, you get kismet. You get everything is kismet. Everything's aligning. Everything you've done to get you up into this point is in complete alignment. Your mind right now is in connection to your purpose. So funny, Leo. You're the only one. Everybody else is all about feeling and adaptability and the feelings, the emotions, getting really in the swing. But what you're manifesting is the power of the mind to help you create what this next potential is, what you're stepping into, and to help you achieve the mastery of the vulnerability. And so your mind is really the anchor, the tool. It's what's in perfection here. Kismet, it's synchronicity. Your mind in connection to your purpose is creating for you the ability to, I think, attain that which is what you've really it's the purpose. It's why you're here. It's what's unlocking in your heart vault. It's what's coming to be come this August. And so, the mastery of this month is about being able to manifest more vulnerability. And so finding new and different ways to stay exposed, to feel exposed. The full moon comes in is all about feeling into what is. And so, for you, I really think this is signaling when the mind is in connection to the feelings, everything aligns. So Leo, when that mind is on fire and then you can also feel into that energy, everything is in alignment, everything is kismet, everything is as it needs to be, as above, so below, the full on integration of heaven on earth. So I would say just keep doing what you're doing. If you need, the full moon might come in to illuminate where there's more need to be adaptable with your feeling body as it pertains to what you're creating here on the earth, or this heaven on earth scenario that is July. And so, if there's anything that comes in that feels a bit off base, then I'd say look at that. If there's any negative or things that kind of catch you off guard or don't feel like they were a part of it, then look at that and say maybe that's where the feelings are out of alignment to what I'm trying to create. Recalibrate, come back in, and then really just firing on all cylinders. When the mind's aligned and the emotional body is aligned, everything is aligning to serve that heaven on earth, that culmination of energy that's needed before the August starts. So stay in that super sweet flow of mind connecting to feelings, and when you can think it and feel it, know that it's in alignment to you, Leo. Okay, so next is Virgo. So Virgo on the red path, you are also manifesting. You're manifesting growth. So for you, Virgo, whatever you did choosing red path because of the grief, letting go, separation, whatever this was, the loss, wherever you picked this path, you picked it so that, again, here, the mastery of the month is to find new levels of vulnerability, to bring out more of that which is a part of your divine nature, more of that which lies within your heart. That's what we consider the vault of the heart opening, meaning you're accessing new parts of your potential. This month, that's what's happening. If you can stay vulnerable, stay in the flow of what got you here from June, if you can allow that to continue. And so the full moon comes in and is telling you you need to be adaptable. Your feelings in connection to what you're experiencing on earth needs to be adaptable, or you need to be adaptable. And what you're doing here is manifesting the feelings to then inspire the human to make changes. And so whatever it is that's really got you feeling a different way, and again, your vulnerability comes in, and I think you're exposed, and what's happening is you're really exposed and feeling different ways, feeling new things, maybe feeling good, maybe feeling bad, who knows. Whatever it is, however you're feeling, this is perfect for you, because now the feeling is what is going to trigger the human to change. And so whatever you're feeling, however you're feeling, it should be a newer, and I don't want to say it's a new feeling, because I feel like you could have had this, or been in this energy for a while, but this should create a new response within you. And as that new response is created, or as that trickle effect happens, what happens for you is you start making new decisions that affect the human, that actually create growth. And so this is an energy that's manifesting in to serve you, to help you here at the full moon. So your activation of becoming adaptable, which means you're allowing yourself to feel more fully into things, which is, I think, out of your comfort zone, because the vulnerability for you is being more open to feel and feel new and different things about maybe situations that have always happened in the past a certain way, and now you're open to a new feeling or a new understanding of what's happening there. And so in that's where you've achieved some of the mastery of your vulnerability already. And then from that new experience with feeling a different way, or analyzing a situation in a new way because of how you feel about it, this then allows your human, or the physical part of you, the human part of your journey, that allows you to feel more confident making a decision in your human ranges based off of what you were feeling. Because a lot of times we feel a certain way, but we shut it down. We shut down that feeling, and no, I shouldn't be feeling that way. I can't feel that. I don't want to feel that. If I feel that, it's going to lead to this, and I can't handle this. And so you tend to siphon off those feelings. But for you, what's happening is you're becoming more adaptable to how you feel in connection to your reality and what's creating here on this earth plane for you to experience. And what that does is it now triggers you to make better decisions for your human self, so that the human journey is more supported than by the energetics. And this is the beauty of July. July is about when you're tapped into these energetics, what happens is that heaven energy then can ground into the human journey, the earth journey, the heaven on earth happens, and you start making new choices, new decisions. And this is all because you've started to become a bit more vulnerable and allow yourself to think think and feel in a new way. So that's you, Virgo. So expect a lot of growth if you stay vulnerable and really tapped into that feeling sense that this full moon will bring in a real big kind of growth moment for you, where you'll look back at the end of the month and be like, oh my gosh, I made that choice. I did that, right? And be so proud of yourself for doing it. Okay, so the next energy is Libra energy. So Libra energy, you are in a major karmic closing here. So the cycle that got you here was something happened in June that made you pick the red path, which was all about grief, letting go, opening yourself up to be more vulnerable, if you can even do that, right? And so this, what you've aligned yourself to, whatever and why ever you pick the red path, you have done this so that you can heal a really big karmic cycle. So I have to think that this has to do with somebody else, just because typically karmic cycles come in and if they're not really big patterns focused on us that we repattern and repattern, it usually has a catalyst of a person outside of us that triggered this pattern into being as well, that made us, really contentious energy between you and somebody else, or, separation, loss, death. It's you and another person. And so what this is signaling here, the full moon energy, the big illumination that's coming in at the full moon for you, is that you're healing a really big pattern. And this is allowing more of your new purpose to come in. But what that means is you are really, really having to let go of what was. And so, again, I really feel like this has to do with a person. Again, why you picked red path has to do with something that happened with a person, heartbreak, loss, separation, illness, whatever, pain between you and another person, or really big reflections of the self because of what another person did or said or how they acted. And then it made you stop and really contemplate life for yourself. And so because of whatever that trigger was, this has really started and now finished a big loop, a big master completion for you that is making you really have to relook at your entire life. This is almost like a mini life review where you're having to now it's this Christ conscious energy, which is adaptability. It's all about really trusting in the flow and the cycle and the ending of something and the new beginning of something else. And so this is a lot of trust energy is required here. This is a lot of being in the flow and being able to adapt day to day per what you're learning about that big master completion that you're experiencing. And so how do you complete this karmic cycle? How do you finish it? Because it's signaling that this is coming to a close for you around this full moon energy. So how do you make sure that you stay really connected to your most authentic truth here? And how do you make sure you complete the karmic cycle and not get swept back up into it? For you, this is about, again, being adaptable. What do you feel? What do you feel? And then how can you live that now in this reality? So it's asking you to take action on what you're feeling, and whatever that is, if you can do that, you will in essence achieve this karmic finish here. So which is a very vulnerable thing to have to do, because it seems like it's probably in connection to somebody outside of you. Okay, so next we're going to go to nope, we just did Libra. Now we're going to go to Scorpio. So Scorpio, if you're on red path Scorpio, there's a lot of fear in moving forward. What this is saying is the full moon is going to bring in some situations that really make you question what you're building on earth, question your stability, question if you're safe, question, it's fear energy, right? So do I stay or do I go? It's like this full moon is all about bringing up those areas of your life where you still don't feel secure, you still don't feel stable, you feel like you need to protect yourself. And it's going to be really drastic. So this is very physical world, material world stuff. It could be money, it could be family, it could could be health, it could be home, it's things that make you fearful. If they weren't there, what would happen to me? And so your red path is all about, again, mastering vulnerability. It's achieving another level of letting go and being exposed in this moment to basically usher in what your divine destiny is, what this heaven on earth energy has been creating for you to show up in August. And so what you're being tested with right now is, are you going to get stuck in the fear? Are you going to allow the fear to stop you here? And are you going to allow the fear to make you protect yourself and not achieve that next level of vulnerability? Or are you going to use that fear to recognize that there's still things that I am, in essence, worried about on the earth plane, and then still move forward, being very vulnerable, very trusting that this is the path that's aligning you to the something better? And so will you move through the fear block, or will you allow the fear block to keep you stagnant right here, right now, and close that heart vault instead of opening more fully to the new experience, which is there's a lot of fear within the new experience. Okay, so that's Scorpio. And then the last one is Sagittarius. So Sagittarius comes in with confidence. So Sagittarius, you're going to have to use your voice, and you're going to have to use your voice in a powerful way. So your vulnerability is really speaking up for yourself. Whatever had you pick the red path, I would say you're having to defend that to all ends. You're going to have to, this full moon energy, what it's illuminating is where you get steamrolled by somebody else's will, where somebody else is able to bark louder, scream their truth louder than your truth, and you take it and you back off, and you back down. And so this, for you, this energy of vulnerability is really having you claim your voice. These are the advocates out there. These are the people speaking up out there. These are the people who are speaking up even though they might be getting shut down somewhere else or ridiculed or whatever it might be. This is that energy that's ever present in our world right now too. And so this is that using your voice to make sure that what you're aligning to is your truth, and not allowing somebody else's stronger will to dictate or shut you down. And so Sagittarius, you are all about speaking up. This is what the full moon is coming in to illuminate for you. Make sure you're speaking your truth. Make sure you are confident in what you're saying, and say it loud, scream it from the mountaintops. What you have to say is worth hearing. And so make sure you're doing this. This is going to be what makes you feel really vulnerable and exposed, but it's also going to be what helps usher in the new energy of your living your passion here on earth. And so you're going to be able to live more of that passion here on earth if you get in this flow and then speak your truth when you need to speak your truth. So that is Red Path. If you've stayed all the way to the end, make sure to download the Chakra Deck app. It's for free for Apple and Android, and you can also sign up for a chakra membership. We have paid and free levels, so that supports the content creation with so much light and love until the new moon at the end of the month. We'll see you then.
The chakrasroottocrown oracle deck is a tool designed to help people connect to their soul destiny. As humans, we live a birth-to-death cycle, yet as a soul, our existence is infinite. In each human life, our goal is to learn and connect to our authentic self. We seek guidance when we are repeating patterns and feel blocked from our purpose. This oracle deck breaks down a human's chakra system and uses that information as a roadmap. Each chakra contains physical, emotional, and spiritual information to navigate a clear path towards authenticity and awakening. By gathering perspective with a reading, you will gain soul-level wisdom. These insights bring depth to your spiritual journey and dissolve the blocks, unveiling your highest potential. Take the next step by selecting your layout and explore a reading today.